Wall Street surged today. The Dow Jones rose about 3,000 points, closing close to 8% up. The Nasdaq spiked roughly 1,800 points, about 12%. S&P 500 jumped around 470 points, about 9%. Incredible numbers here. Comes just hours after President Trump announced a 90-day pause on tariffs for many countries, putting them all at 10% tariffs. Those, he said, who have not retaliated in any way, shape, or form. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent spoke earlier today saying this was the president's strategy all along and gave himself, quote, maximum leverage. Today's spike comes on the heels of that week of major volatility in the stock market after the president announced his sweeping global tariffs. A lot to digest here. Try to make some sense of all of this. Money Watch correspondent Kelly O'Grady is here now. Can we catch our breath? What exactly just happened today, right?
I know. Look, we've seen a lot of volatility, but specifically today, you are seeing investor relief because the fact that we have a pause means that the tariffs that went into effect at 12/01, it's not as severe for companies right now. And there's room for negotiation. There's room for deal making and for things to change in the future. I want to bring up a chart of the Dow. Actually, we've got it here right now. Look at this spike, okay? All of that green, that was when the announcement came, and it just speaks to investors going one way or another when there's such an impactful thing that is said. This was the single biggest day for the Dow in terms of a rally since 2020, and you really saw it in tech stocks that have been getting hammered, which, by the way, is good news for your 401k.
Thank goodness. I'm not looking at it, though, as most people shouldn't be. If you're an investor, what are you thinking? If you're a small business or a large business, any business of any type, how do you plan in this environment? Up, down, all around? Where are we going?
So quickly on the investor front, I've been texting with them all day. I heard one say, fool me once. We have been here before. They do not think that this is the end of volatility, so they will keep watching it. For businesses, they have to plan. Do they move production from China? Do they come to the U.S.? Do they invest billions of dollars? The signal today is, well, maybe move to some other countries with a lower tariff versus bringing here where it would cost billions and billions of dollars. For consumers, I mean, there's so much uncertainty, and we've seen that reflected in the consumer confidence numbers. I think it goes back to what I just said. There's still going to be a lot of uncertainty, still going to be a lot of volatility. And Maurice, we're about to go into earnings season. We're going to hear from a lot of companies about what their outlook is for 2025. And you're going to hear that over and over. Uncertainty. What do I do? What do I move? Because the goalpost keeps moving.
Outlook uncertain. That's our headline at the moment. Kelly, thank you so much. Let's go to the White House. Senior White House and political correspondent Ed O'Keefe is there. As you look at these numbers, Ed, how did the president come to this? Are we having any sense of how he arrived at doing this today?
Well, he made the announcement shortly after 1 p.m. Eastern on his social media platform. And as Kelly pointed out, within 10 minutes, the Dow had jumped 2,000 points. A little while ago on the south lawn of the White House, he was meeting with race car drivers and explained his decision.
Well, I thought that people were jumping a little bit out of line. They were getting yippy, you know. They were getting a little bit yippy, a little bit afraid. I did a 90-day pause for the people that didn't retaliate, because I told them if you retaliate, we're going to double it. And that's what I did with China, because they did retaliate. So we'll see how it all works out. I think it's going to work out amazing. I think that our country is going to be at the end of a year or shorter, but I think we're going to have something that nobody would have dreamt possible.
So the baseline tariff of 10% that went into effect on April 5th on most of the world remains in place. A 125% tariff now slapped on China, in part because earlier today it responded to the it responded to the overnight tariffs with an 84% retaliatory tariff on the United States. So that will continue. Beyond that, the other thing to keep in mind, what are called Section 232 tariffs on things like steel, aluminum, and other goods also remain in place. So negotiations are now set to commence with more than 70 countries, according to the Treasury Secretary. until at least early July. We'll see if that gets extended at some point, Maurice.
The whole situation with the markets, Ed, has everybody kind of gagging here, trying to figure out exactly what is what. We appreciate it. Ed O'Keefe at the White House. Our coverage will continue on this tariff pause, as the president is calling it. It's going to continue on CBS News 24/7, your local news, and tonight on the CBS TV News. We'll get into all of it for you. This has been a CBS News Special Report. I'm Maurice Dubois.